Welcome back to episode 3 of the Tapu Two. I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk. Oops. Bro,
What's up, my
pleasure to be back again, bro. Week 3. I like your hat, man. I was texting you throughout the week and I was actually thinking, I was like, man, are we ready? Are we ready for this? Man, are people even going to jump on? Are people going to like it? Are we going to get cancelled? Is it even worth watching?
We're two different personalities. The whole idea is just to throw shit out there, create some content, and just keep it going. And that's what we're doing. Yeah, we all know that YouTube's going to cancel us anyway.
Do you reckon? Will they?
Nah, we're not big enough.
Yet.
They don't care about
us. That's so funny. Yeah. Let's talk about celebs, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about celebs. I don't know how closely you followed the Olympics. I actually didn't. I mean, but it accused me for being a bad Kiwi and not following it as closely, even though I did follow it in the end. And I'd watch highlights because we don't have a TV here. But the celeb I wanted to do today was Val Adams. I always remember her as Val Adams because bit of a name drop here. We're kind of the same age, so back in the days when we were doing school athletics, she was throwing for Southern Cross Campus. Actually, she went to a school in Mangere called Southern Cross Campus, which is also Ngā Tapuai. And everyone could tell back then that she was something special. Like, she would always just clean up the shot put and clean up all the events that she did. But, you'd walk past and you'd just be like, this is a superstar, like right here. And then years later, she becomes the household name that she is. Did you like how I name drop India?
So back when I was at school, when I was a children's, I know this lady and she's very nice to me. And she said to me, how do I throw properly? So I teach her how to throw the spear, and then she become the best in the world. So I don't want to name drop.
Man, just what she achieved. Like, she got a bronze. In my eyes and in many others' eyes, this was like her greatest achievement because, you think about that sport in itself and the amount of power and strength you're supposed to maintain to be able to be world class, right? And not to mention the other events where you're physically got to be at your peak to win it, not just in your country but at world level. To come back after having a couple of kids, I think, and still back that up and be clean at the same time. Because let's be honest, there's a lot of.
Are you gonna go there? Are you gonna go there?
Are we gonna? What do you remember the last
Olympics?
Gonna go there? That was it the Russian? Please, I want to get it wrong. The Russian or the Belgian or the somewhere in the Europe.
It's always the Russians.
Somewhere in the European region. That one she won it and then she didn't win it because she cheated. But yeah, man, I just wanted to throw some kudos and she be the celeb of the day also, and just to chuck out that thing of just asking you, what do you reckon? When you get older, obviously your strength and your power deteriorates, but as a mum, as she is, you gain a new sort of purpose. Is it that superhuman mama strength, that, like, you look at Shelly-Ann Price, the 100-meter sprinter, who, even though she came third in the 100-meter final, the Jamaican woman, it's even incredible that she's running these times after three Olympics, having a child or more. I can't remember if she has. And performing at that level. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. It's pretty incredible. So, Val Adams.
So here's a question. A lot of, I'm not sure if you know this, but a lot of other countries, particularly, I wouldn't call them third world countries, but I'll call them countries that have a low representative or low representation for their country. They have incentives for medal earners in the Olympics. So, for instance, the lady who was from, I want to get it right, I think it's Indonesia. It's either Indonesia or Malaysia. She came either second or third in women's weightlifting. She got a house. and some cash.
Mm,
Like, that's a
mm,
cool incentive. Like, she brought home a medal for her country. I don't want to talk harshly about New Zealand, but New Zealand has a reputation for not looking after their athletes, like in all the
mm.
sports. Athletes. I know athletes. I know athletes that have moved from the country to go and be represented from another country because the
Yeah.
other country looked after them. But I got another friend who went to America, young lad, did college and played college basketball. And he said, just playing at that level, so I think it's like secondary or a little bit higher, playing at that level, even just there, they were sponsored by a big
Mm,
shoe brand, and
mm.
everything was sponsored. So going back to my question, do you know if New Zealand does any incentives like that? Or if Val got anything?
No, I don't know. I doubt she got a house like that Indonesian girl did, which I suppose makes the achievement that more grand, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Mm,
you've represented your country in a world
mm.
platform where the whole world got to see you
Yeah,
and now knows your country's name, and you've achieved
yeah.
something for your country. So it's kind of a big deal, especially
It is a
within
big deal.
the sports realm. So rugby is
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
world-ish,
yeah.
but Olympics is world. Like, people from the world switch on to watch Olympics. So it's kind of a big deal. You think that people would, well, at least countries would invest more into their athletes if they knew they were going to be doing well. So Val Adams, our salute to you. Our salute to you.
Tapu
Tapu
Two,
Two.
salute to you.
I see you. Hey, Tapu Two, I see
I
you.
see your own self. And
What's up,
what's up,
dogs?
docs? What's up, docs? I wanted to talk about reality TV shows in general and what you think about them.
Well, since you asked so nicely, we slightly covered this, but we didn't put it in the episode 2. But I was on a reality program, sir.
What you
Thank you.
actually haven't told, like all the times we've spent together and chatted, you actually haven't told me much about that. Even though people come up to me and go, "Hey, this guy, he's been on Treasure Island," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know," but
An advert came on television, and it was asking for people who wanted to be involved in a reality TV program. Now, my best friend was also in a reality TV program, which was funny, either a year or two before that, and it was called Flatmates. And so he basically got filmed living with. It
yeah,
was like Big Brother. So New Zealand's got this. We're like the guinea pigs to the world when it comes to things, anything, business. When you're going to drop a new item, reality TV programs. So Flatmates was pretty much the precursor to
yeah,
Big Brother. So when I saw this opportunity to do Treasure Island, I jumped at it. So I sent in an email saying that I wanted to be involved. I think something like 1,200 contestants or people wanted to do the show, and it was filmed. It was a film taster, and we went to it was either Tapu Island or something like that, out near
mm.
Waiheke or somewhere.
Oh snap! You just had trials,
We had
auditions for Treasure
it was
Island.
basically a trial, and they did a personality check on you to see if you would actually kind of fit the show.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they,
yeah.
by the looks of it, they wanted all these different types of personalities, people that would kind of collide, people that would, they were making television. They flew us over to Fiji, and they put us on a deserted island. It was literally deserted. So they boated everybody into this island,
Mm.
and they left us there. So they put us on one side, they put the other team on another side, 2 teams, and we basically had to battle it out to get to the money that was buried in the sand somewhere on the island. I'll put the links in the description of our video,
Mean,
uh,
mean.
so people can actually watch the series if they want to watch the series. The final 3 got to the final 3.
Shucks, that is mean, bro.
Yeah, bro. And to be honest, it started to get a bit more difficult. The tasks that they were asking us to do were quite academic in nature. So
Okay.
I was starting to fade a bit because the brain wasn't working in code and stuff like that. I was just like, what is happening here? This is ugh. Me and Levi got on really well on the island, and we got on so well that we said to each other, hey, if either of us win, we'll come back to Fiji together and hang out.
Mean.
So we actually used that money, and he kept his promise.
Oh man, that's mean, bro.
So he ended up buying me a ticket to Fiji, and then I said, oh, so when are we going? And he goes, oh, I'm going to the States. I said, then sell my ticket, bro, and just give me the money. And he did.
Oh.
It was because of him that we caught a goat.
Yeah.
And then I dropped an umu. Made us a hangi on the beach.
That's mean. And is that the first treasure island that we've had?
That was
the original.
Yeah.
That's something, man. Yeah, you can't get closer to home than that. I haven't been on a reality TV show. You have. But my question too is how, and I know they're probably all different. You know, you've got the singing ones, you've got Big Brother, you've got Treasure Island. There's probably many more. But like, how real in terms of what we saw on TV as to what you guys experienced in the production of it, and obviously any scripting at all, could you sense throughout or towards the end that there was a leaning towards, hey, let's try and manipulate these guys to get into the final? Man, I don't even know. You could have signed something to say you can't even say anything right now.
For my experience, it was pretty much 2 weeks of you eat what's there. So they gave you a food package, and you lived rough in a sense. So we had a tarpaulin on the ground, we had a tarpaulin over our head, and we lived in that camp, and we slept side by side with each other. And there was no food. Like the food that we had was like a bag of rice, some flour. We had to collect water from the rainwater, so we collected it off the roof the tarpaulin roof. We just collected water. I lost 7 kilos in that 2 weeks. In the center of the island, they had their camp set up. So you had the producers, the director, the sound man, the cameraman, and editing crew. So the editing crew, they all stayed in the center. To carry everything, you got to use the natives, isn't it? So they had the Fijian lot that would come, and we weren't allowed to communicate with anyone. But because I'm brown and we're from the same area of the world, I'm like, hey, bro, right? This
is your. Can you please talk to the? That's fine.
I took my wetsuit and everything. I left it for the chief. I gave everyone like any clothes that were of worth. I gave them away to the locals who were there, the people who were helping out. And while I was waiting to be sent away, because we were waiting for the speedboat to come and get me, I went and sat with them, and we all had kava. They had a kava ceremony for me before I left, and then I got to actually eat some food, bro.
Pretty timing at the moment, because I think there's a treasure island coming up within the next week. There's a new one. Holy. So this is timely. This is cool. You're original, though. You are original.
I'm number one.
And the chiefs of Fiji fed you, bro, and you had a kava ceremony. That's mean. It doesn't matter what you think.
Hey, and this is a topic I clearly have no idea about, but I'm going to enjoy talking about. Artificial intelligence, bro.
Elon Musk. This guy, when he talks, you can just tell. You know when someone like really genius is talking, and you can tell like in their head there's just like all these things going on, and it's like they're trying to put things into layman's terms for people to understand, even though they probably understand things on a real complex level.
See, 1 + 1 is 95.
What? What do you mean?
I want you to take a minute to really think about what I'm saying to you. Artificial intelligence.
I don't know. I don't know. He was just blowing my mind with the way in which he was saying the world is heading, and like, where we have been, where we're going, what we're going to be able to do with regenerating like cells in the body, with and getting to a point where the robotic mind is going to not just be on par with what the human mind can do, but supersede it, bro. It's too late. You know, like the kind of, I've created a monster and I can't stop it.
They've created these relationship dolls, bro, and they're getting onto levels where they can talk to you, like have communication, and they're learning you.
That's fresh, but it makes sense. They're learning you. They're learning you, bro. That's deep.
Hey, they're learning you. So when you come and interact with it, they're learning about you, but they're learning you. So that's pretty interesting. So my doll, like if I had one, would be quite interesting. Well, quite simple actually. So it was, oh, hi Herb. I know you don't want me to talk much. Would you like something to eat?
Yeah. No matter how intelligent, and this is where it gets scary, because no matter how intelligent a robot can get, you cannot. There's no soul. There's no emotive nature about them, and so if you can't stop the vastness of this or where this is going, and you know that you can't create empathy within a robot, what does that mean? Going back to what you said about them learning us, is it going to get to a point where they can mimic what they see in your makeup as your emotional self, but they don't know what you're feeling? They can gauge your actions. Yes, they could probably read your thoughts. And through that, can they develop some sort of feeling chamber? I don't know.
What's stopping us from having a robotic brain? You can get robotic eyes, I think. I may have seen something like that, or I could be making it up. We have one of those end of days movies,
bro,
where the Terminator.
It doesn't seem too far-fetched now, eh?
Your cells and these nanobots come together, and then you can recreate something. So you've lost an arm, and now you've got a brand new arm, instead of having it kind of attached as a prosthetic arm, that it recreates an arm, and then you have a half human, half robotic arm. Imagine if you got to the stage where you could create a replica of someone completely that looks exactly like them in human form, but is completely robot or completely artificial intelligence.
They're not far from that, bro.
We get a carbon copy of Jacinda Ardern.
Shit.
Maybe she is. Maybe she's artificial intelligence, bro. Imagine, bro.
Yeah.
Imagine if we're already living amongst bionic human beings that are actually replicas. So Joe Biden's actually artificial intelligence. All the world leaders
I wouldn't put that past
all on
them,
remote
bro.
control.
Whoever them is.
True puppets, real puppets.
Silly. Silly. Did you hear, bro? Did you hear the tick as soon as you started saying that stuff? Did you hear the tick? There was a sound, bro. Apple.
Hey, we're nobody. Don't come for us. Don't come for us,
man.
We're no one. Don't even come for us.
Honestly, that was crazy. Hey, Apple, don't take me, okay? Don't take me. I'll get the vaccine tomorrow, okay?
Hey, Apple, get our fuck bitch.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you think. It's all about me, 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 me. It's not about you, yourself. Help a brother out. Pregnancy. I mean, the missus, we're trying. You've got a lot of children. I don't want to be a good support. We got it easy, right? We got it easy when it comes to pregnancy, man. Like, we're watching all these videos on YouTube and first, second, third trimesters.
Yeah, so we're trying to get pregnant. We're watching all these videos on OnlyFans. I mean, on YouTube. Unlucky OnlyFans.
Yeah, men's roles. Like, what was it like for you, bro? That's the thing too.
No, it was really good for me, bro. It was only about 30 seconds, but solid.
So tell me about your first. When Anna was pregnant for the first time, what was it like for you in the pregnancy stages?
So we had our miscarriage. We went away to celebrate the life that we didn't receive,
Yeah.
and just recover from that. So
Mm.
Anna got pregnant, and I started to become very philosophical at the time. And what I mean by that is I started to assess whether or not I would be a good father. Pre-kids, I was more of an asshole because I lacked in knowing how to apply empathy. I didn't want my kids having to carry my shit and baggage that I carried, because they would have their own journey to carry their own baggage. So as much bollocks as I could get rid of,
Yeah.
and heal from, my
Mm.
kids wouldn't have to then carry all of that, because our kids will carry some of our shit. It's just a given, because we're not perfect. But I went through that process,
Yeah.
and a lot of
Yeah.
people know, because I'm quite transparent. I was interfered with as a child, on a few occasions. It gave me two fears. The first fear was that I would possibly interfere with my own children. Second one
Mm.
was I would I would cheat on my wife, and it created that kind of dichotomy within myself.
Mm.
I didn't want what had happened to me to be passed forward to my kids. So I had this genuine fear that if I kissed my own child, that I would be attracted to them. And so
Mm.
I'm transparent. So I told some of my lads, my close friends at the time, I said, look, I'm afraid that when my child is born, he was coming up, it was about a month away. I said, I'm afraid that this will happen. And these boys gathered around me, and they prayed for me. And they said, dude, you're not going to do that.
You're not what
You're not
happened
what
to you.
happened to you. That doesn't
You're not.
dictate your actions. But it was a genuine fear.
Mm.
And then I remember when my son was born, I held him, and then I kissed him. And I remember just starting to cry as I realized that I wasn't
Mm.
attracted to my own child. That was the first pregnancy. It went to a different space, but that's pregnancy.
Wow,
So
brother.
pregnancy pushed me into a position where I looked at myself, and I wanted to heal from my past.
That's incredibly powerful stuff, bro. And honest, and something that I needed to hear as well, and something that I'm going through as well. Like, and just hearing you sharing your own intense self-reflection process, bro, is liberating and allows me to go into that as well, because I'm having those moments as well, you know. So as you know, I got a 16-year-old. Um, love to bits, bro. He's on not at the other side of the world, but it feels like that. He's in Perth, lives there with his mum and his dad who raised him. Even though I'm his birth father, I was not there for the first 10 years of his life. You know, I've told you, you know, this story before, but for people who don't know, you know, I was that guy. I was that young 18-year-old father who ran away from his responsibilities. And, you know, if it wasn't for the grace of his mum and his dad and God, you know, that I wouldn't have had the second chance. And so to cut a long story short, you know, things are great now between us and me and him, and where our relationship, we make the best of where it's at. Um, and the relationship is fine. But I'm at this point now where I'm having a child, and I'm going, man, I have a chance now to actually be there and see my child grow up. And there's those fears, bro. There's those things of, hey, you weren't there. You weren't there for your first child. Your first child. What makes you think you're gonna do the right thing this time. You know, um, the thoughts aren't overwhelming, and that's a good sign. But those things definitely do come up, and you can't ignore them.
One of the biggest journeys that we have to take is whether or not we're going to choose to forgive ourselves for our past actions. And that goes with anything, not just this. I used to suffer severely with guilt and shame
Yeah,
for my past actions.
that's a big one, bro.
Once I clicked onto the idea that I'm loved and I love myself, which is a hard journey to take, guilt and shame isn't a part of the equation anymore. No matter how useless and pathetic of an attempt that I make at fathering sometimes, or at anything, I'm still loved. I'm still worth doing stuff.
Yeah.
I'm still worth this life. So that's why, for me, I bring everything out into the light. There is nothing hidden in darkness, so that no man could ever use any information against me.
Of course.
My wife knows everything.
Yeah.
Those who are close to me know everything. So if strangers found out stuff, who cares?
Yeah, man.
Because there's no longer any guilt and shame. The only time guilt and shame is held over you as a blackmail is when it's hidden.
Yeah.
So there's no longer anything hidden. And I know that my walk in life and the journeys that I've taken and everything that I've done will help bring peace to someone else if I can bring it to the light.
Yeah. I think you're an awesome dad, bro.
I try. I'm a dickhead.
Nah, man, like...
When it comes to honesty, I'm teaching him the honesty. So he'll tell you. So it's not from my mouth. Name one thing that you'd like me to change, if you could change it.
To not shout as much.
Not be a shouty dad. I can take that. If that's the first thing that comes to his head, I can take that.
Let's boys can chat like that.
Bye.
See ya. Bro, I like that metaphor of bringing things into the light. Hey, leading up to the point before something was brought out into the dark. The feelings that surround and that happen and that generates when they're in the dark. Oof, you can't put words to them. It's fear. It's almost demonic if you want to talk in that way. It's so consuming because you can feel alone. That's cliched, but when you're in the dark, you feel alone and you feel like there's no one that can understand this because no one can see it. There's no light on it. Writing has helped me, and I've actually been in the midst of re-editing some short stories and monologues I actually went into this hard out sort of deep introspection like during the first lockdown where I think it was the remnants of a lot of the therapy that I had where I faced moments of my own, sexual abuse or sexual interfering as a child that happened to me. But writing really, really helped me, has really helped me process it, I suppose is the right word, and has helped me get to another level of transparency. Like, you don't even really realize it until you can find yourself talking about these things quite easily.
Okay, so for me personally, finding somewhere to start is finding someone you can truly trust. If you can find someone that you can truly trust with your darkness, then you found a good thing. Until you can reveal that darkness to someone that you trust, it's hard just doing it by yourself. We humans have a tendency to lie to themselves. So it may come in the form of going to therapy. If there's no one in your immediate circle that you can speak to that you completely trust with your darkness. A therapist is non-judgmental. They take your information, they listen, and then they encourage you to find your answers within you. So unless you're planning on hurting someone else or yourself, everything stays confidential within that area. This is what's actually liberating for me. Once I found that I had someone that I could reveal my darkness to, then nothing became taboo anymore. And that's what made me transparent, is because everything that was held in darkness
Wow.
lost all its power over me.
That's the answer I was looking for.
You're the one that holds yourself to condemnation.
Mm.
Your own mind and your
Mhm.
construct then thinks about, what does everyone else think? Then you stop caring about what everyone else thinks when you've got that liberty and that freedom. Your way out is, I am light. I'm moving into the light.
Play us a song, Jake.
Oh, sing us a song, Beth.
But you said something right now. You said something. You said, I am light. And I want to sing the first verse of this song by NDRE because I love her voice and her as a lyricist. I am light, I am light. 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 I am not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light.
Sekia, bro. How poignant is that?
Woo! I'm not the... Yeah, brother. I love you, man.
Yeah, I love you too.
Okay, that's my song.